Welcome to part 3 of the Soapblock EastEnders character review of Doris Moisey. If you haven't seen previous parts, their links are in the description. And with that, let's get on with this part. As Doris continues to coddle Jim, we see that she appears to have intercepted some kind of missive to him. A card, perhaps. We also see that Sonia is getting to the end of her tether.
Come, my love, with me. Take me by the hand and
Doris? Oh, Sonia. What are you doing?
Yeah, where does Dot keep her dibbler?
Oh, what?
Dibbler? Well, that's what I call it anyway.
Well, what is it?
You know, that what's the name for making patterns in pastry. Oh, yes, and I'm going to need a lot of other essentials if I'm to be cooking for Jim.
Again? You don't want to overindulge him, you know.
What, with the steak and kidney pie? No. It'll stiffen his sinews, you see. Now, anything you want from the shop?
No, thanks.
In expert fashion, Doris coaxes the card open, but then she almost gets caught by Sonia, who drops some even heavier hints than she had previously.
Still cooking, are they?
Oh, yes.
Doris, you don't think this is going to make Grandad too dependent, do you?
On a steak and kidney pie? I don't think so.
Anyway, I mean, you've got so much on your plate, ain't you? Things to do, people to see, coach trips and stuff.
It's all a question of priorities. You don't think I'm going to go off gadding about enjoying myself when your Grandad still needs my help, do you?
You won't mind.
I am not so selfish. Put yourself first, my mother used to say, and you'll be first off the end of the pier. And we don't want that, do we?
Sonia spells out her concerns to Jim in no uncertain terms, but is surprised by the way he responds.
Well, I kept with that. Doris reckons there's another day's wear out of that.
Is there?
What's the matter with you all of a sudden?
You don't know?
Oh, should I?
Why don't you ask Doris?
What's Doris got to do with it?
Everywhere I go, she's there before me, cooking or tidying like some clapped-out Mary Poppins.
There's no need to get personal, you know.
It's not fair, Grandad. What about Dot?
Dorothy, I don't think she's all that bothered.
You don't know that.
Don't I? Look, I'll tell you something about Doris, huh? She's a bit of a laugh. She pays me some attention. All right, I know Dorothy's my wife. Don't you think I know that? But tell me, did my wife come home for our anniversary? No, she did not. Was there a card in the post today? No, there was not. Did I send her a card? Of course I did. I went to the Vic for Mark's too, didn't I? Because I thought she might be there after all this time. But she wasn't, was she? So how do you think that makes me feel?
Nita dispels Sonia's concerns to an extent, but perhaps they were well-founded after all.
When you think about it, Doris is just a bit of company for Jim, yeah?
That's what Jim calls it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Doris is probably one of those old biddies that loves cooking. Doesn't mean she's got her hooks into Jim, does it?
Doris comes to Jim's bedside with another offering.
Are you decent, Jim? Because I've got some in here to perk you up. Oh, Jim, you do look pasty.
Sensing that her efforts to manipulate Jim into resenting Dot may be starting to bear fruit, Doris presses home her advantage.
I don't know what come over me there.
I can tell you what it was, Jim. Neglect.
I was on the verge of hallucinating.
And you look like it too, but I've got just the thing for you here.
Oh, yeah? What's that then?
Steak and kidney pie. Oh. We were shown round behind the scenes at the supermarket once, and there was this man there who swore by the power of steak and kidney.
What's that?
He said it sends essential minerals pumping to every extremity.
Blimey.
Well, go on then. Dig in.
She gets cosy with him, and she has something else for him.
What's wrong?
Oh, my back's giving me jip.
You're tense, that's what it is. I mean, look at you all hunched up.
Steak and kidney ain't no good with backs then.
No, of course not. But I do have something that just might help.
Have you? What?
We don't find out what that is until a suddenly returning Dot does.
Oh. Anybody at home?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, do that again, will you?
Oh, I told you, didn't I? It's very effective.
The next morning, Sonia sees that Dot is back and has spent the night on the sofa.
Hello, Sonia.
Dot, what are you doing back here? I've missed you so much.
Oh, I have missed you. I have missed you, Sonia.
What are you doing down here on the sofa?
I didn't have no choice. I would say it's nice to be back, Son, but it ain't.
Dot and Sonia have a heart-to-heart until interrupted by Jim, whom Dot deals with in ice-cold fashion.
Someone that close to you dies. You think you're never going to see him again. But part of him stays with you. My Ashley. And you're Jamie. I know you still love him, Sonia, and you'll go on loving him.
Of course I will.
And I believe there's always some reason behind what happens. You know, it's part of some great plan, but sometimes it's hard to fathom out what it is.
Morning, Dorothy.
Jim makes some less than effective attempts at explaining himself to Dot, and just when we're hoping that Doris will insert herself into the situation, she obliges us.
Dorothy, there's no need to get the it's not like you think.
And what do I think?
Well, to start off with, she's medically trained and she's done first aid.
I wouldn't say what my eyes lit on with first aid.
Well, look, if you just let us try and explain...
There's only one explanation for this kind of behaviour.
Well, give us a chance. I mean, she helped me through the flu. I struggled over the Vic because I thought you were going to be there. And now I've got a sort of relapse.
Well, what kind of
I
explanation?
said it was a bad time.
I just thought I'd better come and introduce myself properly after last night.
Jim continues his explanations, Doris continues her manipulation. Dot is having none of it.
See, Doris, Mrs. Moisey, she's into keep fit, see?
I rather got that impression.
Robbie took me down to sports centre to keep me active, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and, well, Dorothy's been away looking after her sister, see?
Oh, I know. Oh, he talks about you all the time, you know. And I thought, as we didn't exactly hit it off last night...
No, we didn't.
So I've made you some rock cakes as way of an apology. I hope you don't mind.
Jim enjoys the rock cakes but pretends otherwise when Dot comes in. Dot gives Jim his anniversary present, but she hasn't let him off the hook just yet.
See why they call them rock cakes, can't you?
Surprising. I thought she was well skilled in all the domestic arts.
Oh, is that for me?
Well, it was. Now, I don't know if you deserve it.
Oh, thank you. I knew you wouldn't forget. I knew in my bones, and your card must have got lost in the post, mustn't it? Oh, look at that. Thank you. You always had an eye for the more tasteful things in life, haven't you?
I wish I could say the same for you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get some decent grub. Get a couple of tea cakes, toast them, we'll have them with our coffee, all right?
Suit yourself.
Sonia and Robbie are, as you would expect, less than impressed with Jim.
All right. Little walk on my own snack.
Yeah, I hope it works.
Yeah, so do I. Orientation's a bit dicky at the moment. I bet you'll soon see things straight, yeah. You all right, son?
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah.
Well, toasted tea cakes, eh? Couldn't be better, eh?
Jim arrives back with what he hopes are his amend-making tea cakes, but finds that things have only got worse in his absence.
Perhaps you can explain this little lot.
What?
Item 1, an apron. Slightly grubby, not mine. Found hanging in the kitchen as though it belonged there.
Oh, well, she must have forgotten it was...
Item 2, a pair of fancy rubber gloves, not mine. Found nestling behind the U-bend.
Oh, well, I can explain...
And item 3, an anonymous Valentine card. Found on our bedside cabinet. Item 4. A rather jazzy jersey. Yours, I take it.
Yeah, but...
Either you have joined a golf club and not thought to mention it, or it was given to you by your fancy woman.
No!
And you ain't thought to mention her neither.
Look, Dorothy, you got this all wrong.
Who have I? That woman has wormed her way into my kitchen, my bathroom and my bedroom, while I've been thrown out like Uriah the Hittite.
Who?
And we all know what that unfortunate episode ended in, don't we? Adultery.
Dot confides in her bestie, Pauline.
Because if I had been here, certain other things might not have gone on the way they did.
What do you mean, other things?
I could have kept an eye open.
What for?
You don't know? I thought the old square knew.
What is it, Dot? What's the matter?
Oh, Pauline, it's all turning to dust under me fingers. It's Jim. I think I've been usurped. I didn't really like her from the start, Pauline. I didn't like her at all. She's a very obvious sort of woman, you know. She puts me in mind of a music hall act. Oh, but it's not really her, it's him. And the web of lies he weaves to cover up. That's what really hurts.
But are you sure about this, Dot? Are you sure it's not just, well, a friendship?
Well, if it were, why should he hide it?
Well, he hasn't, has he? He put the jumper in with the washing, didn't he?
Well, that was a lapse, Pauline. He's thinking with his loins. I've seen it all before with Charlie. I'm not making that mistake again.
But Jim is nothing like Charlie.
No, I know, but I've got to consider the evidence of my own eyes, ain't I? I should never have trusted him.
But you can't sound over him all the time, and you did have to go away, didn't you?
Yes, I know.
After Pauline suggests that people should be forgiven while there's still time, Dot comes home with a more conciliatory attitude.
I'm putting the kettle on because we got things to talk about.
A sermon on forgiveness follows from Dot, and Jim knows better than to argue.
Now, Jim, when you get to our age, you've made mistakes. A lot of them. Probably more than you can remember. And if you did, there'd be a burden to you. A burden that you'd have to lug about with you for the rest of your life. Like Christian, ploughing through the Slough Despond.
Slough?
Are you with me?
I'm not sure.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that you have to be forgiven to get through this life. Forgive and be forgiven. 'Cause forgiveness is like a balm, you see, that soothes you on your way.
A balm?
A healing balm. Now, while I was away, certain events came to pass. Well, let them pass. That's what I'd say. 'Cause there's more important things in life.
But then Dot becomes a little too self-righteous for Jim's liking, and whether through a guilty conscience or otherwise, Jim reacts angrily.
I know it's a roundabout way of putting things, but I thought it was important, you know, to clear the air.
So what you're saying is, what happened doesn't matter, is that it?
No, I'm saying you're forgiven. Which amounts to the same thing, but it's different.
What, you forgive me?
Well, not such a difficult thing to do, is it?
You got a nerve you have, Dorothy. Really you have. But you come in here and forgive me for something that I haven't done. The first thing you do when you come in the door is accuse me of crimes that I haven't committed. And then you waltz in here and tell me I'm pardoned. Well, I'm not having it. I'm going out now and I might commit a few crimes that do need forgiveness. And I hope that makes you happy.
And now it's Jim who's on the sofa. Sonia tries unsuccessfully to talk some sense into him.
Grandad, how long is this going to go on for?
I can't share a room with a woman who don't trust me, can I?
You can hardly blame her, can you?
That's right, you women all stick together, don't you? Why should I beg forgiveness for something that I haven't done in the first place? What?
What exactly do you think Doris was getting out of all this?
A bit of companionship, the same as me. And since when has that been a crime? Eh?
I'm sorry, but that's all we've got time for in this part. Tune in tomorrow for the next part, unless of course it's already been uploaded, in which case you'll find the link to it and all the other parts in the description. Thank you very much for watching this Soap Block EastEnders character review. With a new video uploaded every day, please subscribe and also share, like and comment. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.